Welcome back again in speaking session. In today's video, we will talk about semantic barriers. What are the semantic barriers that involve in the way of your communication? You know that there are a lot of problems you have to face when you are trying to conversate with anybody. Semantic is one of them. Semantic means when there will be misunderstanding about meanings of the words, like if someone send a message but receiver can't understand the meaning of the message, then it will be semantic barriers. Semantic barriers creates so many hurdles in the way of your communication. If your information exactly will not send to other person, then there will be lot of confusion, there will be lot of misconception, there will be lot of miscommunication, and it will be miscommunication, then there will be no good communication, and it create so many obstacles in the way of progressing your communication. So today we will talk in detail what are the semantic barriers that came in the way of your communication. First one is bad expression, second one is inaccurate translation, third one is semantic, fourth one is words have different connotation, and last one is connotative meanings. First thing you should keep in mind regarding semantic barriers, it is bad expression. Bad expression means when there will be vagueness, when there will be inaccurate information, when there will be irrelevant information, when there will be misconception about your communication. Bad expression badly affects on your communication. It is not only in your progressing your communication, but also it can create so many hurdles for your receivers. So for any organization, for any department, for any business, for any firm, if there will be obstacles in the way of your communication, then there will be a lot of problems. During to this you have to suffer. If you will suffer in these problems, there will be a lot of barriers came in the way of your progressing yourself. If you want to clear all the things in the way of your communication, in the way of your progressing yourself, then you should judge the expressions of the receivers. If you will judge the expressions of the receiver, then there will be clear message for the receiver. The receiver can understand it easily and he can give a proper feedback to some extent. And second one is inaccurate translation. Inaccurate translation means when you will show negligences for your communication. Like if you will send a message to the receiver will not understand what you are trying to convey us, what you are trying to obtain any kind of information from the receiver, then there will be ambiguity, then there will be misconception, then there will be irrelevancy. When these kinds of things involve in your communication, then there will be barriers, and it is very big problem for your communication. If you want to remove your barriers, then you should keep in mind your translation should be good. Your inaccurate translation creates many problems in the way of your communication. Like if you exchange your idea with others, then you should rethink it, you should recall it, you should think in your mind after this you send to others, so that other person will receive according to his point of view. If your translation will not consider, then there will be lot of ambiguities came in the way of your progressing yourself. So it is also kind of barrier, it also problem you can face during your conversation as well as your communication. And third one is semantics. Semantic means study of signs and study of words. So it will be a problem if receiver will not understand the words you want to send us. So if you want to convey your exact message, then you should keep in mind those words, those sentences, those information I want to convey to others, then there will be relevancy about their content. If your content, if your subject matter will be appropriate, will be according to the receiver point of view, then there will be no misconception, then there will be no problem that came in the way of communication. Semantics problems occurs when you will use tough language, when you will use tough wording, when you will use tough vocabulary, but other person can't understand it. And if he will not understand, then he can't feedback properly. If anybody receive your message proper way, then he can give a proper feedback. So it is also barrier, and you should remind about this kind of things. Means semantics, you should judge about the signs that you want to show, that you want to disclose with. One is technical jargon. Technical jargon means when you shouldn't consider the education background of the receiver. Like if you belong to different subject matter, if you belong to different point of view, another person can't understand it, then there will be issues in the background of your study. Like if you are studying in different department, you are from engineering or other kind of subject, then there will be technical jargon involved in the way of your communication, and there will be lot of problems occurs during your communication. You should consider the person according to the background of the person. If you shouldn't consider, you shouldn't recognize the background of the person, then definitely the problems occur, the problem can be created from the receivers, and there will be no proper feedback. If there will be no proper feedback, there will be hurdles, there will be obstacles, there will be hindrance, there will be irrelevancies, and it is very big and it is very big problem for your communication. It can create misconception, and for removing and for keeping away from this kind of thing, particularly technical jargon, then you should consider the background of the receivers, and you should send a message to other person that is comprehensively, that is comprehension according to the mentality of the receiver. In easy wording, you could send that. In easy wording, you can say that receiver and the sender will be same education background. If the receiver background of education and if the sender background of education is totally different, then it creates so many problems. So you should consider about it, and you should keep in mind all the time for your communication. Fifth one is connotative meanings. Connotative meanings, literal meanings of the words. Literal meaning means when any word sent to you and it is a different meaning, but you understand it in different perception. You consider it according to your mentality. You should consider it according to literal meaning, but inwardly it has a different meaning. So it also create hurdle in the way of your communication. You should consider it, you should keep in mind, and you should do all the things. There will be connotative and denotative words occurs during your conversation, because if there will be a literal meaning, but you should understand it according to your point of view, then it is a very big problem you have to face during your conversation, particularly for any organization, for any firm, for any department, for any business, there are multiple peoples, they are working there. Employees are from different department, from different education background, but your mentality, your education background might be different from others. So it is very important, you should keep in mind, when there will be literal meaning, you should understand according to this. When there will be denotative meaning, when there will be connotative meanings, when there will be some kind of signs, receiver or sender use, you should consider it and you should keep in mind. If these kinds of things you should keep in mind, then you can easily convey your message, you can easily deliver your message, and there will be no suffering during your communication, and there will be no misconception happen when you will take it according to the receiver point of view. So according to the above discussion, we conclude that if you will think about these barriers, you will consider these barriers, then there will be no problem, there will be no hurdle, there will be no obstacles, there will be no hindrances in the way of your communication. So you should consider it, you should keep in mind, when there will be communication, then there will be no barriers involved in your communication.